Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
how's it going?
Good. You?
I'm doing great.
Okay. I'm glad we got that across. Hello. Welcome
It's
to
such a
another.
weird thing to do an open,
I don't really have a good opener. I don't.
because
I,
it's just like hi, and then it's like
yeah. It's
hey.
also it's also really goofy at the fact that like we've been talking to each other for like before we started recording. So there's that.
No, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, unless you don't want to talk to each other, unless. Bubabaka.
no,
Uh, all right.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. How you been? Good. I'm good. We good? Okay, we good. Uh, uh,
I'm glad you got that across.
yeah. Again. Um, what have you been up to? What's been in your space?
Yeah. So this week, I oh man, I watched before I say it wrong. Hold on, 1917.
Yes, made in 2019.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that war movie, which was it was good, man. Um, you think you'll watch it?
I watched it. Yeah, no, I really like that movie.
Oh, you saw it.
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Did you?
spoilies in case I guess anyone else.
Super spoilers for a movie that came out in 2019 about 1917.
To be fair, 2019 wasn't that long ago, and I just got around to watching it. So I would assume like if you, it's so hard, man, because like there's so many movies that come out every year. Like you're throwing so much shit that like it to me like all the big ones, right? I'll see the Avengers, I'll see the whatever, the big boys and everything. But like
Yeah.
this thing came out, and I heard it was supposed to be really good, but I never got around to watching it because it. I never had friends that were like, "Yo, it was good. I saw it. Go watch it."
Oh,
Um,
okay. So you didn't have anybody to confirm the fact that it was a good movie,
right. It
essentially.
was like critically, like, or critically, the critics are like, "Great movie, two
Critics
thumbs
were like,
up." Beep, boop, bop, doop. Yeah,
"Okay, okay,
it was
movie."
definitely like two bags of spaghetti out of five.
It was a war movie. Like, yeah. Okay.
Well, so like that's the thing is I
God.
do enjoy a good war movie, of course.
Mm.
So watching this it starts out with the one soldier, and he gets told to get somebody else to come do a job with him, basically.
Yeah.
So he grabs his best friend who's sleeping next to him, blah blah. They get up, shebang a boom. They talk
Yeah.
to Major Corporal. That's a joke. I don't know what the fuck he is. They
Military
talk.
man.
They talk to Optimus Prime of the military, and he tells them that a general, right? He was a general, maybe. Maybe.
I don't remember. I watched this movie. I want to say maybe last
He's like, I
year.
saw it in 2019.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh, I forget when I saw this movie, but I feel like I've seen it like maybe like a year or two back. Maybe I did see it in 2019.
um,
Uh-huh.
but he does that whole thing, and the point I'm trying to get to is they go on this mission, which is basically a death mission. They're
To
told that the Germans are tactically retreating for kind of like a gank, basically. Like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
gonna
they're gonna fall into a trap, basically, right?
right. It's so they're setting up a trap by falling back and then actually being ready for a fight.
Yeah,
So these two guys go. The one that gets dragged along doesn't want to do it, but the other one has a brother in the uh, platoon up ahead that he's actually trying to go
meet up.
give a message. Yeah, meet up and tell them, don't go for this fight. Um, and the part that actually, like, I wasn't ready for this, and I actually should have been, because I feel like the movies do this shit a lot. But for some reason, I was kind of just more drawn in and not like focused on like what could happen. I was more actually drawn in and just felt like what's the word? I was like immersed in the story,
Mhm.
which felt good because I'm not usually like that with a lot of movies. I'm like, oh, I can tell like this shit's gonna happen or that shit's gonna happen. And then he gets fucking killed, the brother. I was like, oh shit, like the main guy that you've already like been following for like, it's not long, it's like maybe 30 minutes in, he gets fucking killed. And then the rest of the movie is just that other guy carrying out the mission.
Yeah.
Which again, like, super good. Like, when he gets to the part, when that guy that's carrying the message now, Solo, gets to the part where like the Germans are in like a like, I don't know if it's like a broken city. It's kind of like, I think it's a broken city.
Yeah, ruins.
And yeah, and he's like killing the one guy, and the drunk German comes up and he's like, "Hey, like, John, where are you?" And he's just fucking choking this guy the fuck out. And he's like, "God, bah, 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 bah," you know, like an NPC ass motherfucker in the back that's like, "Alert, alert!" And then he dips. He fucking just like pushes the drunk German and like runs, and then that guy like blind fires at him. That whole scene right there, so fucking cool.
It is. It gets intense when it needs to. That's what I really remember from that movie. Is that like it's intense to be intense. I think I think what really helps with that movie is because it's just like a one shot. Obviously, there are like little editing cuts in there, but like for the whole movie feels like it's one shot. Like it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. So that's when this movie was being talked about, my one friend, who was like in film production or whatever, like he films and does other shit and stuff like that. He was telling me, he was saying exactly what you just said. It's supposed to be like a one shot, and like I just like, I think that might actually be maybe part of the reason I felt like I was just so like fucking drawn to this shit, like watching it and paying attention and stuff.
Because the reason why is that like it feels like you might miss something that might happen because it just keeps going.
Yeah. I need to go back and watch it again, because now that you're talking about that, I wonder if like that is like what it was.
That you might have missed something.
Not that I might have missed something, but I want like if I looked away, maybe that's what would have happened, basically.
Okay, I mean, if you they're not World War One movies, but like I would recommend like basically a good double feature, for war era movies, The Darkest Hour with Gary Oldman, where he plays Winston Churchill, and Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. It's a very good, because that's what I did. I basically did like a little double feature, because The Darkest Hour is basically the rise of Winston Churchill, and then the main thing that you're focused on in that movie is the battle at Dunkirk. And then watching the movie Dunkirk is what you see from the perspectives of the soldiers. So that's why I did like the whole little double features. Even though
That's a good idea.
Yeah, even though they're like two different directors, like it's just interesting to have like this one specific moment of history, specifically in a war, that, you know, you get a side of a politician trying to make a tactical move, and then you have the actual foot soldiers trying to survive. So that was my whole little thing. It's a very, like I said, it's a very enjoyable double feature.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll look at that.
Yeah, that's right, bitch. Anyways, any more war movies?
I like war movies, so I'll definitely
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on war movies like when I was younger, because I was like, oh, it's a war that happened, but like I don't know, it's also weird because there's a lot of oversaturation of war movies at this point.
Yep.
So it's hard to really choose a good one, and I feel like 1917 is one of the good ones because it is the Great War. It is World War One. And nobody really talks about World War One that often. It's usually
the Great War.
Yeah, that's what it was called, the Great War.
No, yeah.
But everybody talks about WW2, but nobody talks about WW1.
Well, World War II was so infamous with Hitler. That's why.
Yeah.
You know, it was, and it's also like the biggest like. It's not the biggest human history good versus evil story, but it's definitely one of the biggest good versus evil stories of our time, definitely.
Yeah, obviously.
But like, if you went back and like looked at Genghis Khan, right? That guy is probably like the fucking hugest like good versus evil type shit. He's definitely won, but
Mm. Yeah.
but like that shit's wild. But anyways, yeah.
Or the 300 Spartans.
No, yeah. Well, I mean,
Good
as far as
versus
like,
evil.
yeah, that's true. They did well. They fucking lost though at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. We don't talk about that though. Right?
Well, I guess technically, like, yeah. All right, never mind. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, World War
Dep-
II, man. When it comes to like that, like, it's drilled in. It's also part of like when you're in school. I feel like World War II is talked about so much more heavily. At least for like in when I was going to school. It was kind of like just drilled into us. Like Hitler was a person. He did a bad thing. Um, he did really bad things, and
Yeah.
you know, you need to know this information basically. So it felt like that was like the biggest thing we got
The
drilled
big
into
one.
us.
Yeah.
Um, who was the guy that played Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man? Do you remember?
Andrew Garfield.
Um, okay, so this is what I wanted to say because you said any other war movies. Have you ever seen Hacksaw Ridge?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Hacksaw Ridge,
Isn't that
is
directed
a
by Clint Eastwood?
oh no, was this? Oh, please no.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Man, where's the director on this? No, Mel Gibson.
Oh,
Which
that's who it
is
was.
which is just as much of a
Yeah, it's also weird, but he's a good director. That's what makes it, like even more, because he's actually a
um.
legitimately good director. Mel
So
Gibson.
so in Hacksaw Ridge, first of all, Vince Vaughn's in it. Um,
Yeah,
and Andrew Garfield is playing I think he's a medic.
yeah,
And he refuses to use a gun.
he's a
And
pacifist.
he's a Jesus man. He believes the God. He believes he will be saved, and everyone else will be saved if they just don't fight. Basically, um, so like the whole movie is based around him. I think this is World War One. Also, I'm not sure. Um, huh? Maybe it was World War Two
I
actually.
think it was two.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was two because I think he's American, right? Because like,
Garfield.
yeah, and Vince Vaughn, like they're supposed to be American.
Oh yeah. They're American.
Yeah, so it's
Um,
WW2.
WW. So like the big like scene for this is basically he climbs a giant ass fucking side of a like mountain, I guess you would call it, or hill or something. It's very large, and a cliff, and it has this like huge rope wall. He has to climb up there, go across like dead man's land, grab people, bring them back, and like make a like little rope thing to like slowly let them down. Anyways, like the whole thing is it's decent, but the movie is definitely like lackluster in the end. Like it's maybe feels like an hour long.
Hmm.
It's probably longer than that, but
Yeah, I what I've been seeing like clips of that movie is that like the character direction seems a little goofy, but I don't know. I mean, I really liked Apocalypto. That's the only Mel Gibson movie that I really liked.
I need to
Uh,
watch that. I've
it's
never I
it's
never
pretty.
felt like it was good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty
I
good.
wa-
All right.
I watched it years ago and I didn't like it, and then I rewatched it like now and I'm like, oh, it is actually pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like it does a little thing like towards the end where it's not historically accurate, but
What a movie, not historically accurate.
yeah, because it's supposed to be about like these tribal people in South America and like
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, um okay, so war movies. There is
Uh,
there is that Netflix movie that I mentioned called what is it? Quiet on the Western Front, something like that. Apparently,
oh.
apparently it's like a remake of an old World War II movie, but it's on Netflix and it's from the perspective of the Germans. Like it is essentially Saving Private Ryan but German. So
Oh, that's something that pissed me off, by the way,
what?
in that movie, um, 1917,
Hmm.
where the British guys like pulling the German from his fucking plane that crashed, trying to save him.
Oh yeah, and then that was a fucking
and then the
mistake.
fucking dude stabs him, and it's like, fuck you, dude. I mean, of course, like, it's a movie, right? It's meant to happen to make you do this. You're supposed to feel these emotions. But I was just like, I don't know, man. It's kind of wild. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure that shit probably. I mean, I don't know if like that level of something happened, but that's insane.
I think it's supposed to establish the fact that like this is a war. Like, there's no chance for humanity. Like, you can't be a good person in a war, especially to the enemy. And it really establishes that point where he just stabs the dude because he's like, "This is my enemy."
Right. I think the reason I didn't think it was going to happen was because there's so many war movies where they do play on that type of thing, where it's like people really do love each other. It's like natural humanity of like just wanting to like not kill each other and want to love each other, basically.
Yeah.
There's a couple war movies. I can't like fucking off the top of my head name these, but like they would be like there has been movies where like the German saves the American. For instance, not the German saves the American, but the German saves the Jewish guy in The Pianist, where he's hiding upstairs and the German finds him and he's like, let's talk about what you're doing here, man. And they talk or whatever.
Yeah. But I believe that isn't The Pianist based on a true story?
Probably.
I don't remember.
Good movie though. Really good movie.
The Pianist?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you also get that like I'm talking about is that like you get that turnaround. Saving Private Ryan is like the biggest one, where like the American guy or he saves the German guy, and then it comes to bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you can't be a human in this fucking place because this place doesn't allow humanity, and it's horrible. It's a very, very messed up view of the world, but that's how it was in World War II, especially a big war like that, where it's like you tell this guy, all right, leave the battlefield, and then he only gets picked up by the same people he's with, only to go back and fight his enemies, and it's just like, the fuck was the point? I'm trying to talk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fury was a good one too, by the way.
Which one? Oh, Fury.
Fury.
I have yet to see that one.
That's Brad Pitt and
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf and the other guys. I love this fucking actor, man.
John Bernthal. The Punisher.
Oh fuck, Bernthal is this is a fucking heavy hitter cast, dog.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
Because hold on, it's not just Bernthal though. Who's the other guy?
I'm trying to remember the cast.
Michael Pena, Pena, with a Spanish N.
Oh, Michael Pena.
Pena.
Yeah, Michael Pena.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Pena.
I think I was saying Pena. Yeah.
Pena.
How do you say it again? Pena.
The N with the squiggly is nya.
Yeah.
So it's Pena.
Pena. All right. God, I fucking love Shia LaBeouf, man. I know like he's apparently a piece of shit half the time, but like I can't not love the dude in like most of the movies he's in. He tends to be super likable as a character, and that's part of acting, right? Like that just is what it is.
You're supposed to be believable, yeah.
Bernthal is like the biggest dickhead in this movie. But like again, like I just fucking love the guy, man.
It's also hilarious because you see interviews with John Bernthal and he's like the sweetest person.
Oh yeah.
He loves his dog. He just loves Bam Bam, his dog.
You know he has a podcast, right?
Yeah. What is it? Like Keeping It Real or some shit like that?
Something Fire, I think, or Burn, or
I don't know.
I can't remember, but he actually had Shia LaBeouf on the podcast and they talked about like his issues and shit. It was a good watch.
Yeah,
it gets a little dull, but like it was pretty good.
You know who else has a good like celebrity podcast is Michael Rosenbaum. You ever watch the show Smallville?
No.
So the show
about the old guy.
Is it Michael Rosenbaum? I think that's his name. Hold on.
I don't really know this guy.
Yes, Michael Rosenbaum. He used to play Lex Luthor in the CW show Smallville. And yeah, he just he has like a good amount of celebrities on, or like TV celebrities as well, like on his podcast, and just talk about like their career and shit. But it's a funny one too, because he has Tom Welling. Tom Welling used to play Clark Kent in the Smallville show. And they talk about this one actress by the name of Allison Mack, who was part of that like weird sex cult. What is it called? It had like a numerical number in it. Like why?
What?
Yeah, like Y13 or Y something.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they talk about that. Oh,
I thought Henry Cavill played
and
Superman.
NXIVM, that's what they're called. But yeah, she has like a weird connection with that, but they just talk about like that weird shit. Good
NXIVM.
yeah. Good
Oh,
podcast
Jesus
episode.
Christ.
Good podcast episode of Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum talking about that whole weird shit with Allison Mack.
Oh my god, I remember hearing about this.
Yeah.
Founded in 1998, dog. What?
Yeah. She had like a weird connection with that. Yes, Mack was a member of NXIVM, a cult and a multi-level marketing company selling professional and personal development seminars.
Sex trafficking, forced labor, visa, and wire fraud. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, she had a connection there.
Was this shit shut the fuck down?
I think they caught the guy. There was a documentary on this, I think on HBO, but I don't know the whole ending to it. I don't remember.
He was forced to pay $40,000 fine, but signed a paper not admitting to denying any wrongdoing. So he had to pay $40,000. That's what the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched this actually.
That episode?
Or
that documentary?
This thing. I think this is. Didn't they brand people?
I think they did.
Yeah, I think I watched the fucking documentary on this. I love documentary shit, man, where it's always like, this is fucked up, and I'm like, I don't know, I need to watch it apparently.
I know, it is fucked up. Let me watch it.
You know what attracts me to this shit is that people are willing to allow other people to control their life, which is really fucking weird. Because I think that comes from people that don't have any fucking direction.
That's basically what it is. It's all it is. I mean, I'm no, brain doctor. I'm no psychologist.
I don't crack a head open, but I think
I'm no psychiatrist. I'm no psychologist. Yeah. I know nothing of the mind. But, it's usually those cases where I think a perfect movie like that is the what is it called? Is it called the Grand? No, it's not called the Grandmaster. What the fuck is it called? Fuck, what is that director's name? The director who did Boogie Nights. Shit. Hold on. Fuck, I forget his name and I keep talking about him too. Paul Thomas Anderson. Jesus. He did a movie called fuck. What is it? It stars Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, sorry. Whenever you say Joaquin.
Joaquin?
No.
Wow.
I don't know why his name Joaquin makes me laugh, bro. It's like very unique.
The Master. That's what it's called. The Master. It's like somewhat cultish, but essentially like Joaquin Phoenix's like character is that like he has no direction in his life. And then he's approached by this guy who like might have the answers to everything basically, and he just goes off with him and like relies on him to like basically somewhat tell him what to do, and like how to have somewhat of a life. It's
So
a very interesting movie, and yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman is like the quote unquote master.
he's dead, isn't he?
Philip Seymour Hoffman, yes,
Okay. Yeah, he was a good ass actor, I think,
he's
right? He
fucking
was in a
he's
couple things.
so good. He's so
Yeah.
that's part of my week is that I watched a movie with him in it.
Nice.
Yeah, so good.
So
Well,
just
his
like
acting's good.
a
Go ahead.
question for you. You're good, sorry. People are able to be I don't want to use the word brainwashed, are able to be convinced into this type of life where they follow blindly essentially somebody. It's almost like a religion, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not even a thought, it's just an immediate reaction. You're told this thing is to be done or is doing or is happening, and you're just, you go to church, you sing because you're told to sing because that's how you praise whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that's how you show your love for the religion or whatever, or your god. So I guess like my question is, do you think you would easily enough be brainwashed into this? And again, like I don't really want to say brainwashed, but like, do you think you would be convinced into something like this? Do you think you could be?
In a cult?
Do you think there is a real possibility that you would ever be sucked into a cult and actually like, and I mean like, you're not thinking for yourself anymore. You're literally just listening, obeying, doing, not, you don't fucking think about your old life or anything.
There's a part of me that wants to say yes because of the fact that like I'm more of a follower than a leader, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I think just growing up Catholic because that's my entire upbringing.
Yeah.
It's like I've been skeptical from like day one.
Yeah.
So it's tough because like I'm kind of put in a 50-50 position. But I can kind of have moments where, okay, I know a lot of people say they're like introverts because that's what I feel like I am. I'm a huge introvert. Like are more observant, and that's what I kind of feel like with myself is that like I observe things, that I'm ready to call bullshit on most of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I it's a weird position for me, but I think if I were to say overall, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. But like I said, there's that 50 or 40% chance that maybe this is all the.
I just want you to know, 50 is a fucking high chance, by the way.
I know, but
that's a flip. That's a coin flip. Though.
But here's the thing. Because you know how like most of these sex cults and like all these like people like get like these members and shit is by getting somebody attractive to go after them essentially and get them to like coerce them into joining them. Be like, oh, I'm part of this. You find me attractive, right? Maybe we could spend more time together in our little community together, and then you, lo and behold, you know,
they'd have me hooked.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I wouldn't be hooked. I don't know. It's weird because like, I think if the way you're saying it, like a very attractive person was trying to lead me into a cult, I think if they could get me to go to a meeting, which I actually did get dragged to a meeting, not a cult meeting, but to a Jehovah's Witness meeting, which to me is pretty culty.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
But that was more so. I'll talk about that in a second. But I think like the way you're saying it, like I could get dragged to a meeting, but I think kind of like what you're saying. Like I've always been skeptical. I've been raised Catholic, all this stuff. I've always been like, no, I don't think so. Again, like introverty. I do think a lot about like things instead of like it's observing, right? I'm more observing and like paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Instead of like just kind of just answer, you know. To your 40 to 50%, I think there's a 15% chance maybe that I could get pulled into something like that, and
you get coerced.
It
So
would. I would really. It's weird. I'd have to really fucking believe their ideology.
it's funny you mention that because when I went to community college, there was just one day where I was walking to the building that I had class in, and this guy just approached me out of nowhere, and he started walking with me, and he's like, "Hey, you go here?" I was just this weird, but like this dude was like maybe like a couple years older than I was,
Mhm.
so I was like, "Oh," and I didn't really talk to anybody at community college, so I was like, "Yeah," because I was just studying there. I was like, I'm just trying to get my degree and get out.
Yeah.
Uh, so but yeah, this guy was like talking with me for like a good bit. Like we were walking and talking, and then he was asking me like, "Oh, what's your major?" And I tell him that at the time when I was there it was visual arts. And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "So you draw?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I draw." And he's like, "Oh, you draw anime sometimes?" And I was like, "Yeah, at times." And
Hmm.
we were just having like a conversation about like stuff that we liked and things like that. And then once I was like, "Oh, I gotta go," and he's like, "Hey, uh he's like, me and a couple of people are like, we have like a little like a little club. I was wondering if like you'd be interested in joining us." And I'm like,
Mm.
um I I don't know. And I mean, I'm kind of busy. And he's like, it's I mean, he's like, "It's all right, can I," it's like, "Do you mind if we exchange numbers?" And I'm like, "Okay, I guess."
Yeah.
So we exchanged numbers, and then this is when I knew that like this guy really wanted like another person to join. He called the number immediately afterwards to ensure the fact that I gave him the right number.
Ooh.
Uh, so then I went off my way, and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna pick up any messages or anything from this guy. So he sends me a message, and he's like, "Hey, we have a meeting today." He's like, "Would you like to come by?" And I'm like, "Oh," I came with an excuse. I'm like, "Oh, I got work later today, like I really can't." He's like, "Oh, all right, I get it." And I ask him, I'm like, what is this club that you're in?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm in a Bible club."
Hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I just never responded ever again. Because I was just like, this is it got to points of shady of
Really
just like,
weird.
it was very weird. That's why I was like, nah, I'm not doing this.
Like benefit of the doubt type of me wants to be like maybe he's socially awkward and doesn't know how to make a lot of friends. Thought maybe he saw you alone.
No, yeah, I think that's what it was. He saw me alone, but like he didn't seem like a socially awkward type of person because he was able to initiate a conversation and just talk about like just random things. So like
Low
he
charismatic or something, or
not a little bit, I guess. But like he was social. Like he had a social personality.
okay.
And that's what I was saying is that like it just felt weird that he just came up to me and then like out of nowhere was like,
Did it
"You
feel
want
like
to?"
he was trying to sell you something?
A little bit, yeah,
Okay,
a little bit. So I don't know.
interesting.
I don't know what kind of Bible club it was. I don't know if it could have been like a Mormon Bible club. It could have been like
Fucking got in there and it's like all lights out, fucking candles lit.
yeah, they're all
Yeah,
wearing.
sorry guys, I gotta go. They're
They're
like,
all
no, you just got here.
they're all wearing robes and masks. It looks like fucking
I'll
Stanley.
fucking tell you right the fuck now. If that ever happened, I would run,
It
dog.
looks
I'm
like
not walking anywhere.
it looks like the movie Eyes Wide Shut, and I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable here. I don't want to do this.
Um,
I don't want to be in a weird sex cult at a community college.
so when I worked at the post office,
Oh god.
I might have told you this before, I can't remember, but there was this guy, an older black guy, significantly older than me, I think. I think like by 10, 15 years.
Mm.
And wife, family, all this stuff. And we would talk religion every once in a while. I don't know why we would do this, but I think we were just fucking bored. And like he would just be like, why? He would always challenge me, like, why don't you believe in the God? Why don't you go to church anymore? Why don't you do these things? Because I told him I used to go to church and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't feel like my cup of tea. Essentially, like, I don't
I ain't
feel
down.
like.
I ain't down with Jesus. Is that what?
Basically, yeah. Like, I just don't see I don't see the appeal. Is basically what I was like telling him.
Yeah.
And he would always be like, "You should come sometime. You should come sometime. You should come sometime." And finally, at one point, maybe like 2 years of knowing this guy, because I, in the beginning when he was telling me shit, I'm like, stay away from him. Is what I thought. Just not going near this guy.
Yeah.
Eventually, like I felt comfortable because we hung out. I've helped him like move something before or something, and like outside of work and stuff like that. And he was like, it would mean a lot to me if you came by. It's like I'm actually giving a reading to like my group, for like something. It was like kind of like a big presentation for him, basically.
Mhm.
But it was all based around like the word of like their God and everything. Which I don't know how God works for each religion together because it's all God, right? But
Mhm.
like it's their God technically, right? So
Yeah, technical sense, yeah.
so I get to this place. I walk in, um, and this is the weirdest fucking one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had. They're singing. I'm reading a fucking book because they hand me a book. You read from it, you sing from it, whatever. Maybe not singing, I can't remember, but whatever the fuck I'm doing, I have their Bible thing in my hand. I'm looking it over, reciting what they recite because that's what you do in a church or whatever the fuck they had.
Mhm.
Anyways, so I remember, I remember, I remember the speech partially, but the fucking thing that stuck with me so fucking heavy was their belief was you don't marry outside of and you don't date outside of Mormon or not Mormon. Fuck, I'm sorry. What were they? I can't remember off the top of my head again.
Evangelicals?
No, no, no.
Jehovah's?
Jehovah's. Thank you. You don't date and you don't marry outside of Jehovah Witness. And I was like, what the fuck? I
Yeah.
was just because like it was just so bizarre. Because
Yeah.
I'm super like I'll date whoever,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't care if you're any religion or any race or
That's
any whatever.
that's why a lot of I think at this point like Jehovah's are kind of the joke when it comes to religious, but you also have evangelicals who are very conservative as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, then there's Mormons, so
Yep.
Mormons kind of take the cake of like ridiculous, ludicrous shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
Jehovah's are a little wild with their thought processes. Most religions
Um
are, to be honest.
the one thing I will say that positive thing I took away from that was everyone was really fucking nice.
And
And I
I,
like
it would have been great if you just asked them, so you want to get married to each and every one of them.
honestly, man, so now take a guy that's 40 with no prospects, with nothing going for him, maybe like a decent job,
Yeah,
but like just can't find a wife. That probably sounds great to him.
yeah,
You know? So like I guess that's kind of like maybe partially another appeal to like
because
what's it
maybe
called?
you might find
Again,
it.
another type of like structure in your life,
You
right?
might
It's
you might find a Jehovah honey over there, basically.
first of all, I don't know about Honey's dog. I don't know. They didn't look great there, but uh uh but I do have to say like I did feel good supporting a friend. I would consider him a decent guy. I liked him. He didn't seem, I we had talked again after that, and he never like pressured me to like go to meetings or anything. He was like, "Thanks by the way coming by. I hope you
Yeah,
enjoyed it." All this stuff. Now, if it was a cold, of course, I'm sure
yeah, and they,
it would have been a lot more
it would
pushy.
it would have been different if like you get there and they brand you and you're like, oh, we're doing this.
Someone tried to brand me. I can tell you confidently, I would fight. I don't know if I'd win, but I would
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Don't
I don't
want
know.
that brand. You don't want to be property. Uh, yeah, it's very weird, especially like Bible readings and shit like that. But I'm no, I haven't been to one, but I've seen a Bible reading. Because my grandmother, my great grandmother, used to host Bible readings in my house.
Okay.
Yeah, because they used to go to a church that was like nearby, but they were Roman Catholic, so these Spanish ladies would come in with their very religious husbands as well, and they would have like a Bible reading with like candles in the middle, and talk about the Jesus and talk about like the next mass that they're gonna have, shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, wild, wild. But yeah, it's also another thing of like overly religious people as well, because my grandmother, well, my grandmother was like overly religious to like I want to say detrimental, but like to a point where it's just like I don't know. I don't know. She went through a lot of like really fucked shit, so it's just
Mhm.
like I can kind of get it. But there was I think I told you about this story about like how there was like a snowstorm that happened like where I live, and basically we got like a whole warning to like stay in, and it was on a Sunday, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, there's church today. Like, I'm going regardless."
How old is grandmom at this point?
My grandmother at the time was like 50 something.
Okay.
Yeah, she was around like 50 something.
So she's still like decent at walking and shit.
Yeah, like, but it's like it's a fucking snowstorm that's happening outside, and like
For sure.
the walk to the church is like at least like 30 minutes, and then added with the snowstorm, maybe at that point like fucking like 50 minutes.
What about an option to drive?
Nobody's driving. There was a warning that went out saying stay home.
No, what I meant was she did she go? One.
Yes, she
Did she
walked.
walk?
She walked.
Get
She
the
walked.
fuck out of here.
She walked. And then the father there was like, "You didn't have to come here today."
Oh my god.
Like he's like, I wasn't planning on having mass because like obviously what was going on. So I forget. I think she stayed with the father for like a good bit until I think
Yeah.
one of my family members went to go get her because it was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing for the Jesus? What are you doing?
So like you're 50. So like at that point, I mean, it's hard because it's so fucking ingrained in that person. My mom is very much like that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of my family that's older that is just it's ingrained in them because they were raised, and sometimes you're fucking beaten to fucking know that you are essentially property of the fucking church, basically.
yeah.
You know,
Or
and
you're always told that God is watching. So,
right,
yeah.
right. It's fear, and again, like there's you got to remember the kids that went to fucking Catholic school. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids were fucking hit to remember that they're
Yeah.
wrong and the other people are right.
But it's also the funny thing too, where like once those kids from Catholic school leave Catholic school to go to a public school, those kids are wild.
Yeah.
Because they get to do shit that they weren't able to do back in Catholic school. That's why. They were wild.
Yeah, sometimes some of them are so disciplined though that
Yeah, they don't get wild.
just fucking routine. They're so used to routine of
Yeah.
being a good kid, basically. I mean, there's an example actually of uh one of my exes. Her dad went to Catholic school, and he became a fucking cokehead. Um, for a long time.
Yeah.
Did a lot of drugs, stole shit like that. Never got in trouble because he lived in a small town. So like the cops were just like, "You're white and a kid. Stop doing this," you know.
Yeah.
But as he got older, like cocaine became like a big thing. So you know, I think there's always like two sides of the coin, right? The people that'll just like stick to routine and then break from it, right, and become these like wild people, basically.
I guess, yeah. Religious talk. We went on a tangent about religious talk because cults. That's
It's
why.
more so about cults, and I
Yeah.
think there's a pretty like the Venn diagram, right? A big old in the middle where the fucking two overlap, where it's cult and religion, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it has a lot of similarities.
I guess, yeah.
Usually, one of them doesn't tell you to kill yourself, so you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anything else
Um,
you did in your week? Did you join a cult?
I played Destiny.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Destiny cults?
No, I might start one.
Uh,
What's it called? Have you been watching the Twitter stuff with Musk?
somewhat, kind of.
Okay. Um,
Because this is one of our things this week too, in the
Is it?
news. Yeah.
Let me make sure real quick then, because I do want to talk about this too. Him. No.
So
Okay, I'll just
watch.
wait for that then. It's not the same thing, but I'll just
Okay.
add into that.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the other thing then is, did you see the FTX thing?
I don't think I did.
So FTX is like a crypto company.
Uh-huh.
I believe they went bankrupt. Somebody stole every single fucking dollar in FTX. Couple, and by couple I mean a lot of fucking millions of dollars.
Okay.
Crypto's like the fucking Wild West, bro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's why there's so many issues with it.
If you want to become rich overnight, just fucking learn how to steal money out of crypto. I don't know how many fucking like laws there are in this. I'm sure stealing is wrong. I don't know if they can fucking put you in jail for it. But somebody just stole their fucking money, dude, and they owe. I can't remember the company. I think like a sporting company. Definitely an esports company. Was with them. League, right? League is actually partnered with them.
Oh.
I think
Yeah.
ESPN or something was partnered with them.
'Cause
Somebody pulled out
uh-huh.
because of what happened, and they owe that fucking company like $16 million, and they have no fucking money.
Oh god.
It's
So
actually fucking insane.
how does this relate to Musk?
No, the whole Musk thing is something else.
Oh, okay.
This is just something insane that I've been watching on Twitter.
Oh, this has been part of your non-video game thing of just like, oh, some crazy ass shit is happening over
No,
here.
yeah. So like my week has been like really fucking weird because like the whole Twitter thing, I don't. It's like a train wreck, dude. I've been just fucking watching all this shit because it's so insane.
Mm-hmm. The robbery.
Well, the robbery and the Musk stuff, like again, like Musk later, but like the robbery is it's fucking insane that somebody was able to just grab multi-million dollars and it's just gone. It's the same thing with the fucking Seth Green and the fucking Bored Ape.
Oh, the Bored Ape shit, yeah.
Where somebody can literally take your property and resell it to you without you knowing whether or not they're the ones that took it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
That's why I don't really trust crypto, even though it's. I think at this point it might be an old man just yelling at the sky, but
no, you're a little correct. I think crypto has a place. I think it needs to be. I don't know if it's completely regulated or not. They need to learn how to figure out how to have a security system around it, and they need to learn.
But that's the thing with crypto itself is that like that's what makes it appealing is because it's not regulated. That's what makes it appealing, and that's why people keep investing into it and try to get more shit out of it because the government doesn't have control over it.
It needs to be secure though. Like they need to figure out how to secure it.
I don't know.
It sucks because like I know people don't want it. Like they want like, oh, it doesn't have my name attached to it or an account or this or that or whatever.
Yeah,
bitch, you might want it too because you just lost a ton of fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, especially with that. Yeah, that's wild. that's fucking wild.
And then the last thing of my week was I watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Oh yeah!
You've seen this?
Yeah, I mentioned this like in one of our episodes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is this why I watched it?
I don't know. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
It's great. Yeah, Cohen Brothers.
Shit. I can't believe. What?
It's the Cohen Brothers movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When did you mention it? Do you remember when you mentioned this?
Oh, this was like a while ago. This was probably like one of the earlier episodes. I mentioned that like, oh yeah, I watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and it's like an anthology.
Makes me super sad because I didn't know.
This is how I know you don't pay attention.
Sometimes,
especially in those early episodes. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you're boring. Go ahead.
The dude from Harry Potter, the fat kid.
Yeah, fuck. What is his name? Um,
His
I
real
don't.
name is Harry Melling.
Okay. Yeah, that guy.
Uh, he has no arms and legs in this.
Yes, he's with Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Um, also Liam Neeson, bro.
Yeah. The James Franco one I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah, so I never knew where the meme came from.
Oh,
Uh,
first time?
first time, yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie where I wasn't expecting things to just happen the way they happened. Um, Buster Scruggs, didn't expect him to fucking die.
Just die, yeah.
Super dope. Fucking killing where he just hit the fucking board though,
Oh
and
yeah,
slapped the guy and he fucking suicided.
yeah. He killed Mr. Krabs.
Was that Mr. Krabs?
That's Clancy Brown. Yeah.
Okay. Um, good opening, really good opening.
That's that's why I like the Cohen Brothers, because they make movies, some of the movies, because I haven't seen The Tragedy of Macbeth, but I think that's by one
So
of them.
bad.
I don't think it's by both. I think it's just by one. But when they're together, when they do a movie together, their movies feel almost cartoonish, but you kind of get that snap back to reality when shit like really hits the fan of like somebody just dying. I think the perfect movie that encapsulates like their style is Fargo. Like their movie Fargo encapsulates the wild goofy shit that just happens, and then murder. And then
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh yeah, bad shit happens." Hmm.
So it was good, a good open, and then I can't remember the second one. I think the second one was like Franco.
Yeah,
And
Buster
then you see
Scruggs.
Neeson, and then I think the one that I stopped on, I haven't finished it, so I gotta keep going.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
like a half an hour left, an hour maybe.
Oh, you haven't finished. Which story are you on right now currently?
Maybe I did finish. Can't remember. But the last one I remember seeing is the one where the guy's digging for gold.
Okay. I'm surprised you forgot about the girl on the prairie.
See, I don't think I will. I think that might be the last one.
Okay. So you probably haven't finished it then. Yeah.
Um,
That one is like, oh. Oh.
um,
That's like, that is what I'm talking about, like a Cohen Brothers movie is just like, ooh, goofy shit. Oh, sad shit.
So for the Buster Scruggs, you don't think he's gonna die? He dies. Okay, now I know what they're doing here. You know.
Yeah.
Next one, you don't think the guy's gonna die? Dies. Okay, I definitely know what they're doing here. Got it. Someone is always gonna die. Next
It's-
one, I think he throws the dude into the ocean or river. The arm leg kid, no arms and legs.
Yeah.
And then the one where he's digging for gold, he gets shot in the back. And I was like, come on. I was so fucking pissed off. The guy rolls a cigarette, lights it up, puts it out, thinks there's enough time has passed. The guy's dead. He's not breathing. Jumps in to move the body and start taking the gold, and the guy's alive. And I was like, oh shit. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
It's the only one that's kind of all right.
Then he kills the other guy, and I'm like, still death.
Yeah, it's still
Also shot him a bunch of times, and I'm like, I get it.
I really like each story because they feel like their own little thing, but except obviously the whole death factor. But I'm just thinking about the Liam Neeson one where it's like it's so fucked up because of the fact that like he just found a better way to make money.
Yeah.
So he just gets rid of the guy. He just gets rid of the kid with no arms and legs. And it's so fucked. And it's like, oh, but that's what they're doing to survive, essentially. It's like,
yeah,
they put on these shows and he found a thing that's a better money maker. So it's like,
it's something weird. It's if you really thought about being in that situation back in that type of time,
it's the Wild West. That's all it is.
I wonder if he would have even been alive, the kid. Probably not. They probably would have killed him way earlier.
I don't know. But that movie is the Wild West, like all encapsulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'm thinking about the James Franco one where he runs out with the pots and pans, the bank teller.
Yeah, when he yells pan shot, I was fucking cracking up.
So stupid.
Dude.
It's a good movie. It's I feel like it's kind of underrated in like Netflix's library.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's good.
I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah,
Thinking of that now after you had said about the Cohen Brothers, I need to go and like watch The Grit. Oh brother,
oh, True Grit,
yeah, True Grit. Um,
Doug Grit.
I really need to watch No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
I know people always say it's so
oh,
good, and I've never watched it.
oh. I think that's the one movie that I can say that doesn't feel with the criteria of a Coen's brother movie where it's like cartoony, because that
Yeah,
movie is like straight up just like tense.
yeah.
So yeah, Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem. Everybody. This is the thing. That movie's so talked about because of Javier Bardem's like performance,
Yeah.
and it's so fucking true. It's so true though.
Yeah.
Like he is horrifying. He is scary. Yeah, I watched that movie, but as like one of my favorite Coen brother movies, it has to be Fargo. Fargo is still one of my favorite ones from them because it's just a wacky situation.
It was all right.
My favorite.
I know a lot
oh
of
yeah.
people enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
I just don't
Yeah.
have like
Yeah.
I don't have that same like love. It's the same thing with the Big Lebowski. I just don't have a connection.
Yeah, the Big Lebowski is one of theirs I didn't really connect either. True Grit is also pretty good too. Their remake.
It looks like they've done a lot of Western shit.
True Grit, Buster Scruggs. I don't remember what another one
Did
they
they do Country for Old Men?
Yes, but that's not a Western.
No, yeah.
It's in
It was just
the
Ethan
South.
Cohen. He did it solo.
No Country?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably why it doesn't feel like them together, because it feels very different. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is that like when they're together, it feels very specific, but when they're doing their own thing, they have their own relative style. Hail Caesar is another one that they did. I think it might have been together, but I don't know. It's also another good one, Hail Caesar, where it's George Clooney, Channing Tatum,
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. Yeah, I think he's in that one.
Scarlett Johansson. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, I think he's in there. She's in there. Yeah,
it is. It's both of them. It's Joel and Ethan. Okay.
Yeah. I still want to see Tragedy of Macbeth.
Oh, Burn After Reading.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
I heard this was really good. I need to watch this.
Brad Pitt, John Malkovich.
Dude, I still have to just point out how much better an actor Brad Pitt is than fucking Tom Cruise.
I'm a little bummed because I heard about news about Brad Pitt.
What about him?
That he's a dick to. The reason why him and Angelina split is because he was kind of an abusive asshole, and the kids don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's so hard to like disassociate yourself.
I thought you were gonna say it's so hard to be a god. Like, oh,
it's so hard to be Brad Pitt, man.
Yeah.
So awesome and stuff. Nah, but I don't know, man. Like,
I think
again,
just
like
taking the what is it called, the performer from reality and just keeping in that like little stratosphere, basically that little area.
Yeah.
It's a very different conversation because yes, Brad Pitt is a good actor. He is very good. I know I mentioned the movie, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford is like one of like, I wouldn't say the best movies he's made, but like is a movie that you can see that he really wanted to make.
Yeah.
Because it is by his production studio, Plan B. So yeah, it's a good. That's another movie I recommend if you want to see Brad Pitt and Casey Affleck.
Casey Affleck, yes.
He's very good in that movie. He is very, very good.
I love him, man. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, Manchester by the Sea is another one where that's a very good Casey Affleck drama performance. Where I really like that movie. I still got to see Ghost Story because that's a movie that he did. Ghost Story, yeah. Movies. Any other movies?
No, that's it for my week.
Wow.
Buster Scruggs, though, man. fucking would recommend that shit to every fucking person.
It's good, yeah. It's
So
like
good.
even if you don't like westerns, it's like it's just a good anthology movie.
That's what it made me think of. Big Fish, kind of.
Big Fish.
It's
Oh,
not the
with
same like thing as like it doesn't have the same character throughout the whole thing, but it feels kind of like that like little homey thing where it's like
yeah, Little
a
Tales and
story
stuff like
here, a
yeah,
story here, a
yeah,
story here. Yeah.
yeah. It's the same character, but like the different parts of his journey. Yeah,
Right, and
I
that's what
remember.
it makes me feel like with that, except for it doesn't follow the same character.
I remember Big Fish. I remember
So
Big
I
Fish.
fucking love that
I
movie. Holy shit!
I really like Ewan McGregor. Like
Yes.
I really like his performance. Like he comes off as very likable, and then you have that whole thing of like getting back to reality where him and his son are just like butting heads. Well, the older version of him is just like butting heads with his son because it's like, why can't you tell me the truth? And it's like, I have been telling you the truth, but it's like,
Yep.
it's my truth though. Yeah, it's a very good movie.
Woody Harrelson is in fucking No Country for Old Men, which I
Yeah.
fucking love Woody Harrelson, bro.
Yes, Woody Harrelson. I think Tommy Lee Jones is also in there too. Yeah. Good movie. Good movie. Yeah, I recommend watching Cohen Brothers specific movies or each of their own little thing, like, you know, Ethan or Joel's. But yeah, No Country for Old Men is a good one. It's a very very good one. All right. What did I do with my week? Nothing. Moving on to the news. Yeah, I didn't really do anything this week. Game wise, I obviously been just streaming stuff that I've been playing.
God of War was cool.
Yeah, so I started up God of War. I beat what did I play? I beat 3 games. No, I beat 2 games. Excuse me. I finally beat A Plague's Tale. I don't know if I mentioned that last week. No,
I think you posted
was-
it in Discord.
I don't remember, but like either way, I think I'll just bring it up again. Like if I did mention it last week, I beat A Plague's Tale on stream. Is a very good sequel. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it because the end has a little stinger, which I was not expecting. But how it wraps up that story, I think is perfectly fine, even if the stinger is a little like goofy. But yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to like spoil it.
Hey,
Okay, so spoilers for A Plague Tale. You kill Hugo. You kill your little brother because his rat powers are getting too intense. So you gotta kill him.
drink
And
his
that
blood.
what happened?
Do you drink his blood?
No.
Absorb the powers yourself?
No, it gets so dude. It gets so wild in that game because it's just like this giant orb that just like gives off rats, but like how the rats are made are like in these weird fucking like egg sack things. These weird fleshy. It's so bizarre, but I really like the fact that the game tries to like really hone in on that like goofy and like ridiculous outlandish shit that just goes full force. I really enjoy that. But yeah, basically the end of the game is that like it's just like you can't do anything for your little brother, and your little brother's just like, you really tried, and I understand that, and it's just like I want you to live your own life as well, because like we can't keep running from people, we can't keep doing this exact thing over and over again, like it's gonna get progressively worse. So yeah, and basically the game ends with you killing your little brother, and it has a little epilogue scene where basically the older sister Amicia is kind of it's been like a year, I think, or like 2 years in the epilogue, but she has her little thing where she goes to visit like the little grave that she made for her brother, and it's just like, you know, apologizing. It's just very like emotional and heartfelt scene, and but from then you kind of have this little thing where she's like, I'm gonna go find, because essentially the whole spiel about your little brother having this like disease and stuff like that, there's like a whole prophecy thing. It kind of goes into that direction as well. So her plan at the epilogue is to find the next people of that prophecy is like the next child that might have the same illness that her brother has, and basically what she calls, or what they called, the protector, which essentially was her role in the game itself, to be the protector of the child with the disease. So her plan at the epilogue is to find the next child and the next protector, and basically lead them into a direction that doesn't have to happen again with her little brother. Essentially making her story like the warning, or like the warning story of like, don't go in the same direction that we did, you know. And then you get the stinger at the end of the game, which is the disease still happens in the future. Because you get like a little baby, and like a what is it called? And like a God. Yeah, you get like a little baby. It's assumed that the baby's like in a hospital. You hear like the heart monitor and stuff like that, but you only have like a close up on its arm. And then the further you progress up, the more you see the arm, the more you start to see like the weird veiny shit of like what Hugo had in the game, because that's the rat disease happening. And it's like, oh, it's still happening in the future, and then the game ends. Like, so stupid. It's so dumb. But I was like, okay. I think I would be fine if this game story ends right there. But yeah, it's very funny. I talk about it in like my little like mini review when I beat the game, that like it's like a cyclical thing. The whole theme of the game itself is like the endless cycle of violence, because that's the whole fucking game, is that like there's never a downtime moment with, well, there are a couple downtime moments, but like there's like such short-lived peace for Amicia and Hugo that like, oh yeah, you have to be reminded that this world is awful, this world sucks, and violence is there every step you make. And it's just like a cyclical thing. That's what I'm trying to get across. Maybe it's not that deep, but that's what I interpreted off of the game. So yeah, A Plague Tale Requiem. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a very good sequel. And then after that, I beat Sifu. Good game. Good game. I did the Sifuing. I did the Kung Fu.
How old did you?
I beat the game at 50 or 60, somewhere around there. Because that final boss is tough. It's not hard, but you have to know. Okay, I think what I can say is that like the parry and block button and the dodge shit is like your best friend at that final boss, because like you have this little like focus thing that you're able to do with like regular enemies, but that final boss doesn't allow you to do that focus shit, to the point where the boss is like, that shit's not gonna work here. Like we're gonna fight man to man basically. And it's like, oh, I guess I'm in for it now. It's a good game. I really enjoyed my time with it. The story itself isn't the greatest. It's interesting, but I think it's more in the sense that like you're getting your dollar worth. I'm sorry, you're getting the bang for your buck just for the gameplay, because that's the standout of this game, is just the gameplay. Yeah, I wouldn't call it like a Souls-like game. It is more like a roguelite-ish game. With some Souls element kind of. But yeah, good game. And then yeah, I'm playing God of War Ragnarok. I was about to say Requiem. I'm playing God of War Ragnarok. I want to say maybe I'm like 15 hours into the game, maybe a little bit more. Damn. So yeah, we were talking about this earlier, of like you were saying that like Ragnarok kind of just feels like 2018 basically. Essentially is that. Like it feels more of 2018 but with better stuff. Like it still feels like they're playing it safe, but they're introducing like different things that make the story and make the combat feel a lot better. Like for combat, like combat stuff, combat mechanics, you're more versatile because the fact that you have the blades of chaos at the beginning of the game. So you're doing like swinging and stuff like that. You're able to do more traversal. Yeah, like the game really like incorporates like you using like higher platforms and stuff like that to do like death from above attacks and shit like that. Um yeah, combat's really good, but I think the standout is the fucking story. The story is just, this is the shit that I wanted from 2018 because of the fact of you being in like the Norse pantheon, basically. Where like now like shit is really kicking off because where I'm at, you already met Tyr, you already met Odin, you already met Thor. Right now where I'm in the game, you're kind of meeting the rest of the gods in Asgard. And it's just like, oh, here are the other boss fights you're gonna have in this game. And like the way the game is going, it's trying to follow the same path of that little like of that little stinger, or like that little like thing towards the end of 2018 with the whole wall of prophecy, where it's like you don't know where it's gonna go. And right now where I am, I really don't know where it's gonna go, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Because I think at this point Kratos is like, I'm gonna go find the Norns, and in Norse mythology, the Norns are basically like the fates of the Norse realm. So he's gonna go find the fates and basically be like, yo, I'm gonna be changing my fate. I ain't doing this shit. Yeah, Ragnarok is fucking just it's a good ass story. Like A Plague Tale Requiem had a really fun story, but fucking Ragnarok just has a fucking it's just an epic. That's all it is. It's just a really, really good fucking game. Yeah, be playing more of that. So that's what I've been basically been playing on stream. Not really anything on my off time. But I have been watching a couple things. Give me 1 second. Let me give a little sip. I watched a movie called Before the Devil Knows We're Dead with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Ethan Hawke, and Aunt May from No Way Home or Homecoming, the new Aunt May. You know which one I'm talking about, right? From Spider-Man, the new one.
From the
Tom
new
Holland?
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Her, she's in this movie, but like a younger version with her. Not gonna lie, she kind of hot though. But
Dude, she's been beautiful forever.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I could see why she hot. Like she hot. Anyways,
Have you seen My Cousin Vinny?
No, I've seen pictures of her in that, and it's like, yeah, I get it now.
That's where I know her from. And then somebody pointed out who she was, and I was like, do you understand? In No Way Home, how old is she? Like 45, 50?
I think so, yeah.
She
still
I
got
never
it.
thought anyone would outbeat Jennifer Aniston for how good Aniston looks for how old she is. She beats her.
Yeah. Yeah, she looked good. She looked very good.
Sorry.
But no, it's fine because like she looked good. No, it's an interesting movie because the reason why I watched it is because it's by the director that did Dog Day Afternoon and Serpico, and those are two movies that I really like. So this is more of his modern movie, kind of, because this movie came out in like, I want to say like the mid 2000s. But basically the story is these two brothers plan a heist to rob their parents' jewelry store. And the reason why is because they plan on taking the money. Basically, their parents will be fine if they get robbed because they have insurance for their jewelry store. So, you know, basically it's a win-win for everybody. Problem is that shit kind of goes wrong when they try to rob the jewelry store, and then basically the movie goes on from there, where just like bad shit is just happening, and like The movie does this interesting thing where it does like weird time jumps of like different characters, specifically like the two brothers and the father, where they kind of do like time jumping shit of just like, oh, at this time of the robbery this brother was doing this thing, and like you see from his perspective, and just like stuff like that basically. um it is a very cynical movie. It is very what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, cynical is up there, but like I'm trying to think of the other word. I wouldn't say it's nihilistic, but like yeah, I would say it's just more cynical. Because of the fact that like a lot of these characters, whenever they try to show emotion or try to show some form of empathy, another person reacts to them showing emotion as like bothersome, and it's just like, oh, why are you acting like that? Like it's very bizarre. Um, and especially with like the two brothers, where it's like the older brother played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, like kind of dislikes his younger brother, who's Ethan Hawke, and you kind of just see their like relationship with one another, where like they're both doing this because they're both in a really shitty position in their lives. Um, like I feel more sympathy towards Ethan Hawke's character, because like his ex-wife like demands child support from him constantly, and like he just can't come up with the money because like he's just spending it like frivolously. There we go. And he has like a daughter as well, and he tries to like support her as much as he can, but his daughter is just like, there's a moment in that movie where like he's trying to come up with money to give to his daughter so she can go on a field trip to go see The Lion King on Broadway. And basically he wasn't able to make that money, so he has to give her a call and tell her that like I don't have the money. I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. And basically she just like goes off on him, being like, well, if you didn't have the money, then why'd you get my hopes up? And like he's like, I like, and then I wouldn't have to explain to my friends that my dad is such a loser. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. Like it just cuts deep. And then there's another point in the movie with Ethan Hawke where he talks to his wife, where he thinks he's gonna die, and he tells her that like, tell my daughter that I love her, and I had feelings for you too, and I hope the best for you. And basically his ex-wife is like, I don't give a fuck as long as you can come up with the child support money, because like I don't care. Like if you die, fuck it, but you better have that fucking money. And it's just like, it's so cynical. It's just like, god damn. Yeah, just not happy feelings overall. But I would not say this is like, I've only seen Dog Day Afternoon and Serpico from this director. I haven't really seen any other of his works, but I think this movie is not really up there with those movies. Those movies are fucking great. Dog Day Afternoon especially. It's a very, very good movie. John Cazale and Al Pacino. It's also like a
I've never seen Dog Day. I've
Dog
seen
Day.
Serpico.
Dog Day is really good. Serpico, I really, really liked Serpico. But Dog Day is very, very good.
How long ago did you see Serpico?
Oh, I want to say like maybe a couple months back.
Is that your first time seeing it, or?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Okay. To me, it felt old, which it is. But it was good.
So you didn't your minor criticism is because it's old.
It's very dated, yeah. If only somebody could remake it.
If only Dwayne The Rock Johnson was Serpico. If only. If only. Nah,
My muscles, the big.
I think Dog Day Afternoon is like pre Al Pacino going crazy. Like he's kind of there going crazy, but like he's not as crazy. So you really get to see really good acting chops by Pacino, and then you got that in Serpico as well, where he's very good in that movie, as well. But yeah, I think I give credit to basically Philip Seymour Hoffman and Ethan Hawke, because like Ethan Hawke, you kind of get that feeling that like he's just kind of down and out, but also kind of a piece of shit. And then you have Philip Seymour Hoffman, who is a huge piece of shit, but the reason why he acts like a huge piece of shit is because he's a broken man because of his childhood. And it's like, yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman is a very good actor, and it's unfortunate that he passed away because that dude is fucking good actor. So yeah, that's the only movie I've seen of this week. As for shows, I was talking to an old buddy of mine about like some foreign movies and some foreign TV shows, and he recommended this movie. He recommended this show called Black Spot. It's on Netflix. It's a really interesting premise. I've only got through 3 episodes, but basically it is this Belgian country town is experiencing like weird shit. There's a lot of missing people and murders that's been happening. So basically this like the equivalent to like a sheriff in that area is like trying to like figure out all these crimes, while on like the other side there's like this little weird going ons that the mayor of the town is having, where like he's buying up a bunch of the land. And it's a very interesting show, but I still have to get kind of into it to really have a full thoughts on it, because it I want to say it starts off slow, because the first episode does not start off slow, but it just takes kind of a while for it to kind of get its bearings in. And I don't feel like I'm like really into it. But I'm still enjoying like the episodes that I'm watching. But what I have to say, what I am fucking enjoying, I know I mentioned this like probably a couple times in a couple episodes, how I really wanted to watch this new Gundam anime. It's called Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury.
Yep.
I'm on episode 5. I haven't started it yet. So far, pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. Gundams powered by lesbians. Very good.
You said you on episode 5. You said you didn't start it yet though.
No.
Did you start it?
No, I didn't start episode 5. Excuse me.
Oh,
okay. I should have clarified.
I was like,
I did
am
start,
I
but I
dumb?
did start.
I
No,
just thought I was dumb for a second.
I didn't start episode 5 yet. Before we started this podcast, because I didn't know whether or not we are going to start, I was planning on watching episode 5. But yeah, I watched 4 episodes. Very good. That intro is a fucking banger. Oh my god, it is such a good intro. But yeah, I like the premise. Basically, in this world of Gundams, it's so Gundam is weird in the sense that like there is a mainline Gundam plot, but there's also these little side stories that this particular anime is a part of. It's one of those side stories that just has Gundams in it. But the premise of this anime is that this girl is being sent to this school that's run by a giant conglomerate of corporations that are all based on different planets in our solar system, that basically there's a representation for each planet on this school ground. And they all have like mechs, but they're all being trained for something. I don't know if it's for war essentially, but they all have like militarized mechs and shit like that. But our main character, Soletta, that's her name, Soletta Mercury, has a Gundam. And in this world, Gundams are kind of like banned machinery, or like banned rope. They're banned essentially because there's a whole treaty that they made like years ago banning the use of Gundams. But she's kind of like the special case essentially because she is main protagonist. But in this like school ground kind of thing, it's very interesting because the leader of this conglomerate of corporations, his daughter is basically the prize for like anybody who's like the best mech driver essentially. So in this school, in order for them to settle like any kind of disagreement they battle by using their robots. So there's a whole thing where in the first episode, this one guy whose father runs this one company that's part of the conglomerate, he is basically using his son in order for him to get to the position as the head of the conglomerate. So his plan was to basically have his son be the number one mech driver, have his prize, which is the daughter of the head, and kill the head in order to gain the position of head, because if his son marries the daughter, then he gains that position fully. But there's a whole thing that
a lot.
Yeah, the head. Just the tip. So yeah, basically they settle ordeals by fighting with their mechs, and there's a whole thing that happens where Soletta is like, "Oh, you're hurting this girl." I forget her name. It's very they're all these names are so fucking weird, but like I said, I really like this show. But basically she's like, "Let's settle this argument," to like the guy who's like the head mech, not the head. He's like the top mech driver. She's like, "We're gonna settle our argument. You gotta apologize to that girl because you're being mean to her and this and that." And then she basically becomes the number one, and then basically the whole thing is like she's essentially engaged to the daughter, and it kind of goes from there. Very good, very good. There's like a little like interesting lore stuff in this world as well, because of the whole thing, like I mentioned, with the Gundams, where Gundams are kind of outlawed as mechs. But then you also have like classism with specific planets, where like Earth people from Earth, or they call Earthians, are like considered to be lower class than like
Earthians,
than like other people who come from different planets, like people from Venus or Mars, and just like shit like that, where basically the people from Earth have created a term for like upper class people from space called Spacians. And it's just like, you have this one character, what is her name? Is her name Coco? I think I want to say her name's Coco. Either way, this is one character who like fucking hates space people. Like, she absolutely hates them because they're huge assholes. But she goes to this school and she's like, I have to deal with these assholes every single day. And they basically like don't like people from Earth at all, that they try to set them up to fail, essentially, to get them kicked out. It's very interesting. It's probably like part of the lore, where it's just like space travel has just created more problems in society, essentially. And there's a whole thing that they talk about Earth, about like how jobs in Earth have just been like taken away for people to work in space. Like there's a really interesting aspect to that. Yeah, The Witch from Mercury is very good. Highly recommend watching that that intro. It's a fucking banger. But yeah, that's what I've been watching and what I've been playing. God, yeah, I'm trying to get into more anime. Oh, that reminds me, I did watch an episode of this last night. So God. So, Haler, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna have to do this. I've been watching Kamen Rider. And it's very stupid, but I'll keep watching it. So I didn't know that Kamen Rider Black Sun is a reimagining of Kamen Rider Black. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime. And it is supposed to be a darker version of a Kamen Rider show, basically. It's like, I think it's like 8 episodes. But I also forgot that I was in the middle of watching Kamen Rider Amazons, which is a greedier, darker version of Kamen Rider Amazon. And my God, is it stupid. But I will keep watching. Because, okay, you know how the whole thing with Kamen Rider, like, it's just a dude in a suit? Like, it's just a dude in, like, a plastic suit? Kamen Rider Amazon has that problem where you're trying to take, like, the show is trying to really take the whole story seriously, but I can't because of the dumb suits. And then there were moments where, like, the CGI looks terrible. Oh my god, it looks horrible. But for some reason I just can't take my eyes off it, and I'll probably keep watching. And then I'll probably watch the other show, Kamen Rider Black Suns, but yeah, I'm starting back up with Kamen Rider Amazons. And that made me want to go back and finish the Kamen Rider series I was watching before I stopped, which was Kamen Rider Blade. I think that was the one. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Kamen Rider. Would you like to watch Kamen Rider Black Suns with me?
What's it on again?
It's on Amazon Prime. We can have a watch party and watch Kamen Rider Black Sun.
Actually, yeah, sure.
Kamen Rider Black Suns, I think it's called. But yeah, it's a reimagining. It's so weird because I don't know why. Like I think it's because of the fact that like I forgot that Shin Ultraman is supposed to come out to the States eventually, and then Shin Kamen Rider is happening next year, which is the director that did Shin Godzilla. Those are his interpretations of those series. So, I don't know why. Resurgence of Kamen Rider, that just happened. But yeah, I just kind of want to have someone to talk to about Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider's goofy in general, so
It's
I'm definitely
stupid.
down to watch it.
It's stupid. All right, we'll watch Black Suns, but it's, I don't know. You've never watched the Kamen Rider show, right?
Nope.
This is probably a bad thing to do to get you into like a gritty Kamen Rider show.
I did actually when Dino Dad had a little thing going on, I believe, back in the day where he would watch a couple episodes every once in a while, and he invited like people to watch. I can't remember the app he was using. It was really fucking nice, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what, because I think I tried to use that app before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was good in the beginning, and then it was finicky at some point. So it was like,
yeah, I forget which one he was watching, which Kamen Rider. I think it might have been Zio. I don't remember.
I popped in for I didn't actually watch like episodes with them. I like popped in for one, and I was like, "This is funny," and then I didn't care anymore because I'm not
it's stupid.
I'm not like I wish I was into that shit. I'm just not like super nerdy, I guess, or I guess I am nerdy, but
yeah,
I'm not a weeb.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
is that
nerds.
It's very hard to get into that series. I think because of the fact also it's not really been translated for the States. There is this like subscription site that has a good amount of Kamen Rider stuff, but I forget how much you got to pay monthly. I think it's like $5 monthly, but it's like not all the Kamen Rider stuff. It's just like the early 2000s stuff. So it's like Kamen Rider Agito, Kuga, Faiz, Ryuki, I think even Blade, but like I said, it's like the older stuff, and like now Kamen Rider has gone in such a crazy fucking direction that it's like, what's the newest one? I want to say it's no, fuck, what, I don't remember what the newest one is, but yeah, it's just gone in a really weird direction. I mean, they're weird overall, but yeah, these grittier ones I think are supposed to like be more appealing to like a different audience, or try to get people to like check this stuff out, especially for those that's never seen Kamen Rider, because like I said, these are reimaginings of older Kamen Rider properties, but grittier and darker. So yeah, I'll let you know when we can watch Black Suns.
Yeah, whenever you got time.
Yeah, whatever I got time. So yeah, that's basically been my week. You want to take a break, or you want to get into the news? Break
Get
or
to news?
News? Okay. So we're going to try to get through this as much as we can. Okay. So the biggest one that that I saw over this weekend was a tweet from Mick Gordon. You know who Mick Gordon is, correct?
Nope.
Okay, so Mick Gordon is the composer of Doom 2016, and he also worked on season 1 and 2 of Killer Instinct. So you've heard the soundtrack for Doom 2016, correct?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So like maybe here and there, seen a stream, played a little bit of Doom 2016,
Mm,
but it's never something I focused on, right?
okay, fair enough. So you know how people keep talking about how like Doom 2016's like music is like iconic, basically?
I think so.
So Mick Gordon is the composer for Doom 2016, and he had a bit of a hand in. Okay, so this is where it gets complicated because for Doom Eternal, he was credited as the composer for the game. But this recent tweet that he posted out was basically a huge letter of him talking about the amount of bullshit he went through during the development of not 2016 of Eternal. Because this is something that I completely forgot about, that when Doom Eternal came out, there was a collector's edition that was supposed to come out with a digital version of the soundtrack of the game. And when that soundtrack came out, there was a lot of people pointing at the fact that the soundtrack sounded really bad. Like it was poorly edited. So basically
This is Eternal?
yes, this is Eternal.
Okay.
So basically the studio director at id Software, Marty Stratton, came out in a Reddit post basically kind of throwing Mick Gordon under the bus, saying that like he didn't really provide them enough material and, you know, basically made Mick look like the incompetent one. So this whole letter that Mick Gordon came out with, he came out with receipts, came out with the past email conversations that he had, and to TLDR it, he basically went through hell to get any kind of music out for this game. So, a lot of the key points in this letter is that when the game was being made, they contracted him because he's not part of id Software, he's not part of Bethesda, he's just a contractor. They contacted him to work on Eternal soundtrack. Well, Eternal's music, I should say. Problem was that id didn't provide him with any concepts or anything at all, so he can actually have an idea of like each level and what he could compose. So there was a lot of times where he just created songs and kind of threw it out there to those in charge, specifically Marty Stratton, to basically be like, okay, this is an idea, this is what I have, you know, will this work in this level? To a degree where some did work and some basically got rejected. Or there would be times where, you know, they would just tell him that, no, you kind of have to restart all over again.
Right.
So, the other point was that basically communications between Mick and Marty were very strained for some reason. Mick doesn't know as to why Marty acted the way he did, because he came off as very hostile and just didn't like anything that Mick came up with, because there was a whole ordeal where basically they were short on time for the game's release and they wanted the music done, but Mick had no idea what they were creating because they would not share any concepts of any art or anything story-wise of what was going on. So basically they wanted music to be done first before the actual conception of the game was done, which didn't make any sense. And that's why it made it hard for Mick to make anything at all. And so he tried to come up with an idea with Marty Stratton, basically be like, oh, here's a better time management thing that I'm trying to pitch to you and trying to give you an idea of like, maybe this might work. Marty threw it completely down. He was like, no, we're not doing that. We're going by the way we're doing it. That's it. And then after that, things got completely hostile. So, by the end result, Doom Eternal was announced, but there was the collector's edition, like I said before, that was coming out with the original soundtrack that they promised for people who pre-ordered the collector's edition will get day one. Here's where things kind of get a little fucky. Mick didn't find out about this until that announcement that they were making an original soundtrack. So, he tried to contact Marty and basically tell him that, first of all, I wasn't contracted to make a soundtrack. On top of that, this game is going to come out in a couple months, and we haven't even started anything on a soundtrack. So what is the plan here? So Marty's plan was to basically Marty didn't even contact him. He just ignored him. So throughout that time, Mick was trying to figure out a way to get into contact with someone, because basically his reputation was on the line, because if that soundtrack came out bad, that's his music that came out and it sounds bad.
Right.
So he contacted somebody at Bethesda and basically told them that, hey, like, can we make up a contract where I can work on the soundtrack and I can get it done, and I can compose at least 12 songs, and there's a good soundtrack. So somebody at Bethesda was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. He has the email is there where he contacted somebody, and that person at Bethesda was like, yeah, let's go for it. Only for him to be undercut by Marty, because I'm assuming somebody at Bethesda probably contacted Marty Stratton and told him that, hey, Mick contacted Bethesda. You want to see what's going on. So Marty contacted Mick and was basically telling him that, yeah, whoa, hold on. What are you doing? You're not supposed to make a something without basically my go-ahead. So here's the plan. You make the thing that you were planning on doing, but I plan on adding at least like 40 other songs to it. And Mick's like, wait, 40 other songs? Like, how do you have 40 other songs? He's like, the thing is that like Mick would send his files, like raw files, to id Software for them to have. It was either stuff that they used or stuff that they completely scrapped. So this kind of comes into play later. Anyways, Marty tells Mick, all right, do the soundtrack. Mick does the soundtrack. The process is going pretty well until Marty hits him with, how far are you in the soundtrack? And Mick's like, I'm kind of almost there, but I still need a little bit more time. He's like, I'll probably make it to the date that the collector's edition is supposed to come out. No, that's a lie. The collector's edition came out, but Bethesda had to come out with a statement saying that the soundtrack was going to be delayed. So that gave Mick enough time to make the soundtrack. So he's like, I have enough time to make it. Essentially, what he told Marty. Marty came out with a thing telling him that there is a due date for you to get this done, because in Europe, there is a limit to holding up a pre-order item, in which we will lose money if we cannot meet the terms of that item that was promised in the pre-order, because if we can't meet with it, essentially breaks a consumer law in Europe where we have to give refunds, and a full refund at that. So basically, time was cut short from making the soundtrack. But luckily, Mick was able to make 12 songs, in which Marty was like, I'll throw in these other 40. Mick was like, okay, but where did you get the other 40 from? He's like, oh, we used the stuff that you gave us. He's like, wait, those were all scraps or just ideas. Like, they didn't even make it to the game. Like, you're just gonna use them? He's like, yeah, I'll use my audio designer chief over here by the name of Chad Mossholder to basically create a song from the stuff that you gave us. And it was just like, what? So then Marty was like, all right, give me your files, give me the songs that you made, and then we'll make the soundtrack. So Mick did what he had to do, part of his contract, give him the shit, and then heard nothing about the finalized version of the OST. So when you hear the finalized version of the OST, there are a couple songs in there that have so many audio problems, where there's audio clipping, there's weird transitions, there's just shit that, like, when Mick finally heard it, was like, they completely butchered it. So after that whole thing where a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter were coming out and saying that this soundtrack is bad, this soundtrack is not good, like, but we can kind of hear what stuff that Mick was working on. Like, we can hear that, like, some songs are the competent songs that Mick worked on. In which people reached out to Mick and was like, "Hey, like, what's up with the soundtrack?" And he couldn't really say because he was under NDA. To which somebody asked him, is like, "So do you ever plan on working with id or Bethesda ever again?" And he's like, "I don't think so anytime soon." And because of that tweet, Marty Stratton contacted him again after the contract was up and basically told him that we got to work out this PR nightmare because the soundtrack is bad. So you got to put us in a positive light and basically make it look like we're working together because this shit is not going well. And this is the thing. I feel really bad for Mick because of the fact that he tries to see the good in people, because obviously this is what this whole open letter was that him trying to do the best he could and trying to work together with somebody else. But the other person, that somebody else, obviously Marty Stratton, was really trying to like not work with him, and it just made it infuriating to read. Here's the thing. This could be all alleged, but the problem is that Mick has all these emails that confirm all these instances, and it just doesn't make sense. So, because of things not panning out the way it did, Marty wanted to come out and say, let's make a joint statement together, him and Mick, basically saying that, like, sorry for what happened, but, this is what happened, and, we'll try our best and, work together on another project or some shit, some kind of apology to the fans, essentially. So him and Mick came to an agreement. Mick waited for a good while on, like, what they should come up with, only for him to see on the Doom Reddit say a post from Marty Stratton coming out and basically throwing Mick under the bus. And Mick went to Bethesda, he went to id, and was like, he basically brought lawyers and was like, I want this Reddit post off because it's damaging to my career. It makes me look incompetent. Like, it just puts me in a really bad light. And the lawyers at Bethesda /id were like, no, we're going to pay you 6 figures as hush money and for you to never bring this up again. And on top of that, this Reddit post is staying up there. In which Mick refused. And that's why he wrote this whole open letter /tweet, because he had to get all his shit in line and get all his receipts in order. And yeah, this is what occurred from it. But what's gonzo is when he sees, like, the listing of the soundtrack is both him and Chad, the audio the lead audio designer. He talks about that, and where he's like, he gets so angry at, not angry, but like he gets pissed off at that because of the fact that, like, Chad was just a guy that was under Marty that just basically took the files and composed this weird fucking shit that was not the music that I envisioned. And to see him as, like, a co-creator for music that I made, that he didn't make, all he did was just take the stuff that I made and spliced it together, it's like, it's insulting, essentially. And from that perspective, I think that Chad was probably just, under the thumb of Marty and basically just doing what he was being told to do. But then you have other stuff from Mick saying that for another project with Bethesda, he didn't get paid the full amount for that game. And on top of that, when he performed at the 2016? No. Yes. It was either 2016 or the Game Awards of one of that year, either 2016 or 2017. I want to say it was 2016. He performed at the Game Awards, and Doom won an award for Best Music. Guess who got to keep the trophy for that, for the Game Awards? Tyler?
Marty?
Yes. Id kept it. Mick never got to even see the trophy.
Sorry, I was trying to remember the dude's name.
Yeah, Marty. Marty's the one, more because when they presented that, Marty was the one that went up on stage and took the trophy. Mick has never seen. No, Mick has seen the trophy only in Bethesda's what is it called? In their lobby where they have the trophy section. That's where he sees his trophy. He has never gotten to hold it. So this is where the shit about them using songs that were like sketches in a sense by Mick were also used. So basically Mick under his contract got paid for basically like an hour and such for the amount of music that got used in the game. He went back to look at all the stuff that they used that he composed for the game. It's doubled. So they essentially didn't pay him the amount that he's owed. He's owed. They only gave him half. And he's still fighting for that, to get paid for the amount of music that they use. Because in total, because I think, yeah, it's supposed to be like an hour or 2 hours the amount of songs that they put down in the contract for him to get the amount of money for. But in reality, it's like almost up to 4 hours. So he's still missing the other 2 hours. And yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's all, I'm gonna have to say again, it's alleged, but this man's got receipts. So that's where it's just like, it's kind of not looking good for id over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this
if anything, wouldn't you just drop Marty?
So yeah, this was pre Microsoft acquisition. So I don't know where it can go from there, because Marty at the time of Doom Eternal was the executive producer at id, but over time became studio director. So now he's the studio director at id. So he has a higher position. I don't know where this can go from here. The only person that probably has any say in this is probably Phil Spencer. But I don't know if the fact that like Phil Spencer is going to do anything. Like, I think what I can say is that like I don't know where the situation can go, because Mick is at a position where he's just like, I don't want to work with these people again, but I'm still owed money that I am owed. These people used music that were scraps and didn't tell me about this, and nobody contacted me. So there was a whole mismanagement about this shit, and then it's like it just
ID
doesn't.
software is in the wrong.
Yeah.
Largely.
So it's like I said, it just becomes this whole thing where like it really hurt his reputation, because the whole Reddit post that Marty put down, I read the whole thing. It really throws him under the bus, and it makes Mick look like an asshole. It makes him look like he was just refusing to cooperate. And yeah, it is gonzo. It is wild. But I'm just hoping for the best for Mick Gordon. In that open letter, he also points out one of the songs that was spliced by Chad, and like he points out at like all the mistakes that Chad made, that he was like, I can't believe they even left this in for the finalized soundtrack. Like it is just mind-boggling. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But
definitely don't feel like it's Chad's fault, you know? But
yeah, like I said, he's probably just, he's a worker. That's all it is. He's a worker.
Right. The guy that's been telling everybody what to do. It sucks because it could have been avoided if he would have just replied to fucking what's his name, and given him a fucking, if he was just straight up, if Marty was just straight up with I can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head. Mick. If Marty was straight up with Mick about it and was like, this is what we need done, this is how much we need, we were thinking about using your scraps, yeah. What do you think? What do we do here?
But yeah, and that's the whole ordeal, is that like they just never contacted him. Like he had to go to their offices multiple times to be like,
it's just strange, right?
What are we doing? Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? And on top of that, they were supposed to pay him like monthly, or no, not monthly. They were supposed to pay him for the amount of stuff that he submitted, and there were just times where they just withheld his money. So there were months where he just didn't get paid until like, I want to say like the near end of November, and they started the project like around like March. No, like
the way this is all is kind of.
If you read the whole thing, which I recommend that you do. Just even if after talking about this, it's as somebody that gets like really anxious about like shit like this,
Yeah.
it's really anxiety inducing because it's just like it's like literally the worst case scenario of working at a position where you're supposed to be a group, you're supposed to be a team. It's like
Weird.
it's like doing a school group project and nobody is responding to you.
Yep.
And it's just like, what are we doing? What is going on? And then they get credited at the end, and it's just like, what?
It's
Like,
weird because it seems like Marty and maybe the company itself was looking for like a place to cut money.
I think so.
And they were thought maybe like it seemed like maybe they were like, this guy just will take whatever.
Yeah.
But
especially
I
that
don't know why they would think that.
I mean, he's a contract worker, and that's also the other thing is that like I guess they were trying to find any way to exploit a contract worker, but it's
Right.
like this is Mick Gordon. Like if you really know his music, it's like this dude is really up there and like composing for music, and it's just like you gave him like little to no respect at all.
Yeah.
Or like at least some decency. It's just bizarre.
You know what his fee was?
I forget how much it was. I forget how much he got paid. I think it was like I want to say it was like 140,000.
And it was supposed to be doubled, or that's
It's supposed
the
to be
entirety?
It's supposed to be doubled.
Yeah. I would also have a problem if somebody didn't pay me $140,000. That'd be a lot of. I would have brought this shit up way long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a fucking.
They're lucky. They're lucky he didn't
mess.
fucking sit there and be like, "Don't buy this game. Fuck these people."
No, and that's what I'm saying is that like he could have gone in that direction, but he just didn't, and like he tried to see the best in that whole situation of just like when he got into contact with Marty again, he was like, let's work together to find a solution. And then that just never happened because Marty just never responded to him ever again. It is wild. It is wild. I highly recommend reading this whole thing. His full statement, his open letter he has it on Twitter. Mick Gordon. But it is wild, and it's just like, man, it like I said, I was just like getting frustrated and like anxious at like the points that he was just talking about. It was just like, yeah, just like he was just closed off from the team, and he was just like, why? It's like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, wild fucking shit. There's probably a little bit more key stuff that I'm missing, but those were kind of like the major plot things that happened. Crazy shit. But yeah, that man had fucking receipts. He had shit ready. I think I'm just gonna skip over to this one. This was kind of like last minute. So Disco Elysium. Remember we talked about this?
Yeah.
So, like 3 creative heads of Studio Zaum left Disco Elysium. We talked about this like way beforehand, where like nobody knew whether or not it was creative differences and stuff like that.
Right.
But they were fired. And the heads that left had a open letter as well, talking about how the current executives at Studio Zaum basically committed fraud and usurped them from their position, and yeah, basically used fraud to gain their position as stockholders, essentially. And then you have these exact same people coming out and saying that the reason why they had to let go of these guys was because they weren't doing their job properly, and they were harassing a lot of the female workers at the studio. So you got two ends of, we don't know where this is gonna go. But the guys that said that the executives that committed fraud, basically the 2 leads that said that the heads committed fraud, are planning on taking this to criminal and civil court. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Who knows where it's gonna go from there? But yeah, this Disco
It'll be
Elysium
interesting
shit.
to pay attention to.
Yeah, I'm very interested as well. I'm now more keen on playing Disco Elysium because Jesus Christ, it is wild. But yeah, fraud. And then let's move on from that. You want to take this Twitter one? Let's talk about Twitter.
Yeah, let me find it real quick.
Okay. So Nibble or Nibellion,
Here it is.
his true fear has happened. It came true.
True. He truly feared the man,
The Elon Musk.
the Musk boy.
Yeah.
Oh, Mario has a little Twitter verification on his hat. That's cute.
Yeah. Very adorable.
So, I mean, the whole thing that happened with Twitter is, as far as like background goes, Musk decided to implement verification badge, or I don't, is that right? Badge, right?
Yeah.
The blue check mark, but which is actually white, right? So,
I
well,
think.
I guess the blue check mark. If you pay for Twitter Blue, you get the check mark. It's $8 a month. This is what he's decided that will bring in revenue for them, and what people foresaw, but he didn't have the foresight for some fucking reason. It's like I have my own like opinion on this, but like, what ended up happening is multiple verified accounts that are like what are they called? Like paid promotions through like Nintendo, other gaming companies, other entertainment franchises. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly. One of the big ones was an insulin company. Got fucked. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
So in my opinion, the bigger one is this insulin company, and the insulin company, somebody, of course, paid for Twitter Blue, has a check mark, named themselves the same company. It looks almost identical, like it looks legit, and they just tweeted out, "Insulin's free," and the company's stock went down like $20.
Oh.
I mean, $20 doesn't sound bad, but if you're a person that's making money off of this,
no,
depending on how much stock you have.
But insulin should be free, though.
Sure. I mean, it's all dependent on what your viewpoint is on that. I mean, my mom
should be free.
My mom takes insulin, and it's something that you need. Anyways, that's not the point of this. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the second message that went out and fucking hit their stock again. And I can't remember what the message was. Anyways, it was very weird. But there was a Nintendo imposter. As well.
in this article.
Yeah. Basically, it's such a this is a bad idea, dude. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea.
I don't understand what his thought process was. I think obviously for making revenue. That's what it was for.
Right, but I kind of just feel like he wants to be a fuckboy, dude.
This is the issue, is that Elon Musk on Twitter has always been a fucking troll.
Yeah.
He's always been a troll.
Yep.
So him doing this, it's just like, it was the obvious thing that was going to happen, is that you're going to have other trolls do this shit. But basically what he put down was that, like, he made a statement saying that, like, you have to put down in your bio that you're a parody account.
But he tweeted that. That was just a tweet.
Okay. Yeah, it hasn't been necessarily implemented. But I think even back then, even on Twitter, like before it was given to Musk, it has to be, you have to put down in your bio that you have to be a parody account. You can't say that you're the actual account itself, because it's misleading identity. So
I have no idea about this stuff because I've never paid attention to that. I've also never like tried to do that. So
yeah, because like there was a whole thing with like Kathy Griffin that happened not that long ago, where she posed as Elon Musk on Twitter, and yeah, it's just like, but this is the whole thing that, like, the Nintendo thing we're talking about specifically is that like this Nintendo parody account basically put up a picture of Mario flipping, just giving the finger, and then somebody wrote down Mario would never do that, in which they responded, "Well, he did." It's just like, oh my god! But they have the check marks, and it's like,
Yep.
you can't get away from this because you don't understand the extent that some trolls would go to.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just like I don't understand. I don't understand his mindset when it came to this. And a lot of people who had the check mark before this whole shit happened were like, this is now going to be a problem of news. Like, news is going to be viewed horribly because anybody can just buy a check mark, say that they're a news site, and then go off and say anything ridiculous, and people might or will believe it. And it's just bonkers, man. It's fucking crazy, but yeah, I don't think anytime soon he's gonna change that. But there's a whole other thing with Elon Musk where a statement came out to workers at Twitter. Basically, he was laying off a bunch of people, and he demanded people who were working at home to come in office starting, I think, this past Thursday. So, and he also wrote down, he's like, well, if you can't come in, then you kind of have to give a valid reason as to why, but for those that are home, you got to come in. And I remember this because it's like, this is the same guy that when people asked him about the whole thing with Tesla of like, do you think you would have like remote working? He's like, no. He's like, I don't see that as something that is valuable. He's like, I would rather have people come in. So it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense for him because he's a dick. Yeah, I don't give a shit about Elon Musk. Like, honestly, unless he gave me Tesla, but even then, I wouldn't drive the Tesla because those things are piss poor. Yeah, they're piss poor, so I'll probably sell it. But yeah, it's just like, what did these people expect? Like, it's a fucking troll running one of the worst websites even before he owned it, and I think it's like Twitter was a trash fire in which Elon Musk coming in, it's like a dumpster fire that exceeds to more dumpster fires. And it's just like, yeah, like you have people posting on Twitter as well, being like, oh, I'm moving to Mastodon because that's the old Twitter owner. That's his new thing, right? Mastodon.
He's making something called like Sky Blue.
Oh, Sky Blue, that's the other one. So yeah, some people are moving to like a different thing called Mastodon, which is another
Mastodon might be like something they were like working on, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe someone else's like vision.
Yeah, but all I know is that Twitter is a fucking hell landscape. I only use it for video game shit and hentai, and that's basically it.
I would look into Sky Blue.
Okay. Yeah, but like I'm saying, overall, it's just like I can move on. It's no problem.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
hentai will be always there, but video game deals, don't know. I like my good video game deal.
What's his name? What's the guy's name?
Wario?
No, the N one.
Nibble?
Nibble, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. He hung up his hat on that. And there was also like talks, well, like Wario put out like a whole thing talking about like he might retire at some point from Twitter. Where it's just like, damn, like there goes my video game deals. Yeah, Twitter is just an awful, awful place. Only to be run by an awful, awful person. Yeah. Fuck you, Elon Musk. Get us Elon Ma. Do you know who that is?
Elon Ma?
Elon Ma.
No?
It's this Asian guy that uses a deep fake of Elon Musk on his face. So it's just Elon Musk's face, but this guy's accent is so strong that he pronounces Elon Musk as Elon Ma. It's great. I want that guy instead. But yeah, let's move on from that. let's move on from that dumpster fire. You want to talk about this one? You want to talk about this breaking news about this Nickelodeon show? Now movie?
Oh yeah. For a second, I was like, hold on, what the fuck? It's like Mario.
Elon Ma?
Elon.
Uh-huh.
Is this a movie? This is a movie. Okay. Breaking Avatar Studios, the first animated movie featuring Aang and the Avatar team. As young adult, it hits theaters October 10th, 2025. 2025 is kind of far, man.
Yeah, apparently it was supposed to come out 2024, but there was a pushback that happened. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, I enjoyed Avatar The Last Airbender. I really got into Korra, but I didn't get too crazy into it because the whole ordeal with Korra's like production was just bizarre.
I finished Korra and it was all right.
Yeah, so you know why it was all right?
No.
Because each season they thought they were not going to get renewed, so that's why each season feels like a definitive end.
Great.
Yep.
That feels really bad.
Yep.
It was cool. I didn't like the like weird like gangster vibe it was kind of going for, where it's like the city is run by mobsters, eh?
I like the 1920s like China inspired world. I thought that was cool.
God, Jones, you're such a non-Aang lover.
I mean, I'm excited to see the Avatar crew. You know, from Airbender.
I'm excited to see them back again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, voices are similar
or a little bit older. I mean,
I don't mind that they sound older. I want like the voice actors, hopefully, though. Like
they think the main. Well, I mean, I don't think they're gonna have like Aang, because I think now he's like maybe like an adult at this point, but he's not an old adult.
Yeah, but they're voice actors.
I know, but when they got Aang, he was a child.
And now he could be a mid-adult.
No, I refuse. All I want is just
hate for Aang.
Donnie. All I want is Donnie Brasco as Zuko to come back.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, is it Donnie Brasco?
Is it?
Hold on. No, Donnie Brasco's a movie. Excuse me. The fuck is his name? Is it Dante Brasco? Oh shit. Yes, Dante Brasco. That's his name. Oh, Basco. Excuse me. Jesus.
Basco.
Dante Basco. Yeah, the voice of Zuko. Yeah, I just want him to come back.
You want the Zuck to voice Zuko?
Yeah, give me the Zuck. Did you hear about the whole thing with, speaking of like social media shit, did you hear about the whole thing about fucking Mark Zuckerberg, where he has to give layoffs to the Meta team?
Yep.
Yeah, because the metaverse isn't panning out well.
Yep.
It's so fucking stupid, because he also put out like a statement saying that like basically he didn't foresee the like the metaverse economy going down, and it's just like, it's so stupid, it's so dumb. Anyways,
yeah, I think it's something that like metaverse type shit will probably come back in the future.
Probably.
I don't think right now it's like, I don't think it's viable to think that every house is gonna have one.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10 years from now, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that little thing, I forget who posted up. Was it you or Wesley that posted up
the killing game?
Yeah.
That was also, yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing's nuts. It's by the guy who actually did the Oculus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read the little thing. I was like, eh.
Don't like that. We put fucking explosives. You could put explosives in that.
Yeah, why?
Why?
Right.
He did it for the lulz. That's all he did it for. Apparently,
yeah.
He's working with like with weapons, like military company, some shit like that.
Nice. The army is getting into games. Cool.
Yeah. You know it. They love the Call of Duty.
If you guys can't finish training today. You die. Have fun.
Yeah, like Sword Art Online. Can I be Kirito? Do you want to be Asuna?
I'll be Naruto. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. We will get the One Piece together.
So
Dragon Balls.
So Aang, cool. Excited to see how this pans out. I'm assuming we won't see things. Maybe a trailer in 2 years.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry,
maybe
2023. A year.
Probably
Maybe a
next
year.
year. Probably
Yeah.
next year we'll probably see.
I would say
something.
end of next year, right?
Yeah, most likely. Most likely.
And even then, it won't be like a huge trailer, right? Maybe like a.
Probably just.
I
like
would
a-
assume we see
like a
art
little
images
teaser.
throughout the year.
Yeah, it'd probably be either like a teaser or just like a little something. Speaking
You know what?
of,
Yeah.
okay, speaking of teasers, so EA, you remember this when EA when FIFA wanted to cut their ties with EA for FIFA?
Oh, whoops.
So, in the post world of no EA FIFAs, FIFA has decided to come out with 4 games. 4 games, I say. The games will be tied to blockchain. Get hyped for Web3 games.
Nice.
Oh my god, I read the concept for each of them. They sound awful. I mean, great.
Did you
Thanks,
see
FIFA.
about Web 5?
No.
Okay.
I only see Web3.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that they announced, FIFA, is AI League FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition. Which will be a 4-on-4 casual football game played between AI-controlled characters with player input at fun and tactical moments. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing you have the little AIs run around, and then when you get to the goal, you press the button, and that's it.
Sounds kind of more artsy.
I guess. But fucking, I don't know. The second one is FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 and the Upland Metaverse. It is an Upland collaboration with FIFA and the blockchain metaverse that they have. Which what did it say? Which will allow fans to have digital items and shop for digital items. Cool. The third is FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 on Figil? Is that what it's pronounced? You know how to pronounce it?
Say it again.
PHYGTL?
Yes.
Figil? Okay. Is going to be a fan engagement mobile application. Basically, when I'm reading this word for word from this article from VGC, fans can augment a Golden Globe football from the palm of their hands into their real-life environment. Own a limited fragment of it to attach and eternalize their hand-picked FIFA World Cup pictures and video moments. I think it's like an AR looking, or it might be an AR thing.
It's honestly not a bad idea.
I don't know what the fuck each and any of them. Maybe the first one I kind of understand, but each of them is just weird. And then the final one is Match Day Challenge FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 edition. It is a highly engaging casual social prediction game based on football cards.
Your football players will be able to battle each other
with cards.
Much like Dokkan.
Is it gonna be like Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
No, it's gonna be just like Dragon Ball Dokkan.
Oh, I never played Dragon Ball Dokkan. Is Dokkan good?
Oh, dude, that shit's so much fucking fun.
Oh, okay. I think there's a game, like a Switch game.
There's a phone game, and there's also like a NES game from back in the day.
All right, Dragon Ball Dokkan. Oh, Dokkan Battle, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Is it is it a gacha game?
Yep.
Okay, that's understandable. I get it now. Anyways, I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Like, all right, so fuck you. Anyways,
I'm not gonna shit on your fun. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you enjoy it, enjoy it.
Wow, terribly diarrheaed all over my fun.
Sorry,
My Goku
oops.
card has poop all over it.
Sorry, I shatted on your Vegeta, but it's talking about FIFA, uh, moving away from shitted Vegeta. Um, yeah, basically these are the things planned by FIFA, but FIFA is an
Is
exploitative.
Qatar a place?
Qatar is a place. Yes, that's where they're holding the World Cup this year.
Huh.
Yeah, originally we were gonna have it around like summertime. But because Qatar gets so fucking hot, they moved it to this climate.
Yeah, no shit.
But
Fuck.
yeah, FIFA is a shitty organization. Just want to get that across. They exploit people, especially poorer areas of countries.
So wait, was it not EA this whole time that was the exploiter? Was it actually FIFA?
No, I'm talking about FIFA in general.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean?
But the gotcha shit with FIFA's games, remember?
I would assume. I don't
The
know who
loot boxes. Was that EA or was that
I would
a mixture?
I don't know. I feel like that might have been a mixture because of the fact that like FIFA wants to make money, so that's why they put their.
Well, EA does have loot boxes too and other shit.
Yes,
So
that's exactly. So I would assume that maybe it's either 50-50 at this point.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't even know FIFA could be their own company. I didn't know they could make their own games.
I guess, yeah. I mean, FIFA is the organization itself, but I mean,
I
that's
thought
what.
FIFA was just a fucking title, man.
Oh my god, it is the soccer organization.
Right? No, I know that. But what I'm saying is the
What is it?
FIFA game. I didn't know like they basically owned all that shit. I also didn't know they could make their own games. Like, is this like new? Like they've had a gaming company, or are they having this game? Are these games being made by other companies?
They're being made by other companies.
Okay, that's what it.
They're outsourcing. That's what it.
Gotcha.
That's what it is. Because of the fact that like EA is that whole agreement like finished because FIFA wasn't making as much money because of the fact that like those FIFA games were basically the same thing year after year with much shittier monetization. You know, like the loot box shit that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why nobody really got into FIFA as much. And that's why
AI League is gonna be wild, bro.
I guess. Sure. I like my little cartoon characters right there.
I'll definitely beat you in it.
Sure, okay, sure, I guess. But anyways, there's a little hilarious thing where FIFA comes out to say that because EA is coming up with their own soccer game called EA Sports FC Football Club, which will come out July 2023. It's hilarious because the FIFA president came out and said that you should get our FIFA games because they're the only real and authentic game from FIFA. Don't get the clones, the copies. Basically taking a jab at EA for creating a soccer game.
I wonder, will EA be able to use players, actual players?
I don't know.
Or is it going to be like Ted Lasso's coaching everyone?
I mean, in this FIFA game, Ted Lasso's in there.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know the lengths of that whole ordeal of like you can use the likeness of. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think all football clubs are in FIFA. Are they? I don't know. This is how much I don't really know about soccer.
Yeah, I don't know shit about it either.
Yeah. Anyways, fuck soccer.
Okay.
PUBG owner Krafton has acquired the Ascent developer Neon Giant. Krafton, PUBG, also, what are they? They are producing Callisto Protocol. So there's that. They now own Neon Giant, which, if you haven't seen the Ascent, it's a neat looking game. I haven't played it, but I've only seen a couple of things of gameplay, and it looks pretty neat. But they're planning on a open world FPS with the company. So, yeah, who knows? Like to see where it goes. In sadder news, unfortunately, Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, has passed away in a very somewhat long battle with cancer. So,
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Man, yeah, that dude. I was looking at an interview with him of him just talking about being the voice of Batman, and it's just like something about that interview made me like both happy and sad because of the fact that like just where he started from. He is a Juilliard actor that did shows on Broadway, and then his manager was just like, "Hey, there's this animated Batman series that's gonna happen. I got you I got you an audition. Like, would you like to try it out?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess." And he goes to try it out, and he comes up with his own idea of what Batman should be because of the voice director basically kind of giving the idea of what the show was going to be. And then it's just like this whole little neat thing where he basically created the Batman voice, even though it's his regular voice, but just deeper.
Batman.
Yeah, but yeah, just a very iconic voice.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate. Which apparently he had another animated movie coming out this year where he was playing Batman. But I don't know if the animated movie finished production, but who knows? And speaking of stuff in production, Remedy, the company that is behind Control and Alan Wake, has confirmed Control 2. Get hyped for Control
That
2.
Budget edition.
Get ready to burn your graphics cards because it is very intensive. But yeah, Control 2 is in the works. Not going to be announced. Well, it's been announced, but like it's not going to come out anytime soon. It's going to be a fucking while because they're still working on a couple other things. Obviously the remake of Max Payne 1 and 2, and also a game that I believe they're working with Tencent on, which is a multiplayer shooter. I forget what it's called. Oh, and also a multiplayer for Control as well. Well, a multiplayer game based in the Control universe is what the idea is for that thing. But yeah, they have other projects before they can move on to Control 2. So yeah, this is what they had as codename Heron, which is the full sequel. Oh, and Alan Wake 2. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
They're doing it too?
Yeah, they're doing Alan Wake 2.
I don't know why I thought there was a 2 already.
Nah, bro. Ain't no Alan Wake 2 yet. But, you know what you should get hyped for that might have a 2? It doesn't have a 2. Gears of War!
Mm-hmm.
Gears of War is getting a live-action movie and an animated series. And Dave Bautista is out there coming out with a video being like, yo, Netflix, put me in this movie. I love the Gears series. I will be Marcus Phoenix.
Definitely shouldn't be Marcus Phoenix.
Let me suck
but he should be
that
in there.
Marcus dong, please. Netflix. I love it. Yep. That's Dave Bautista. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I mentioned this. There is a thing in Gears 5, I believe, where you can switch the skin of Marcus Phoenix to be Dave Bautista, and it's him voicing the lines.
No, that I had no idea about.
That's an actual thing.
But I still don't think he should be Marcus Phoenix. I think he should be in the movie.
He should be
like
Dom.
Him in that gear looks fucking great.
He should be Dom.
The fuck is Dom?
Wow. Have you ever played Gears of War?
Yeah, I played 1 and 2.
Dom.
Okay.
Marcus's friend?
Sure.
Okay. Anyways, big fan.
Xbox One came out how long ago?
Big fan. Xbox One?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox One.
The original Xbox.
Okay, there you go.
Eat my fucking dirty socks, you piece of shit.
It felt good.
Xbox One. I
Xbox
will.
One? You sure you want to say
Fucking-
the Xbox One? You mean original OG Xbox, baby? But even then,
Yeah.
wasn't Gears of War on 360?
You know how stupid it is that they named it Xbox One?
Yeah,
Fuck them.
bro, we've talked about this. Like, what do you think the full fucking ordeal with this shit of like the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One X when that shit happened, where there was like a huge offset of people just buying Xbox One
Yeah.
X because they didn't know what they were buying.
I still don't know what I'm buying.
But yeah, basically Dave Bautista wants to be Marcus Phoenix or wants to be in that movie, but mostly Marcus Phoenix. Um, and yeah, Netflix is doing a Gears of War movie and animated series, but nobody talks about John DiMaggio. What the fuck?
Fuck is John DiMaggio.
Look up John DiMaggio. You know who John DiMaggio is?
The fuck do you spell DiMaggio? D-I?
Yeah, D.I. Maggio.
Fuck up. Who the fuck is this guy?
He's the voice of Marcus Phoenix in the game.
Oh, he can absolutely not be Marcus Phoenix.
No, in the animated series, I'm saying.
Okay, what about him?
He should be just Marcus Phoenix.
No.
What do you mean no?
Physically in the movie?
I'm talking about the animated series. I'm saying the fucking animated series. He should
Yeah, that's
voice
fine.
Marcus Phoenix. This motherfucker, I swear. I swear. No! Animated series. No! Fucking get out of here.
What, are they not doing it with him?
I don't think they essentially have the cast for it yet, but
I would assume they use the guys from the game.
yeah, that would be fucking bizarre if they didn't. That would just be weird.
Who would you want Coltrane to be? Idris Elba, right?
Terry Crews, to be honest.
Get the fuck out of here.
My God, can we? What do you mean, get out of here? Fucking Coltrane is a ridiculous character to begin with.
Coltrane, baby.
Coltrane, baby. Woo! Yeah,
yeah, I guess.
It's the Coltrane. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, there's a better cast for that, though. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll come back to you next week with the cast for them.
I can't really think of anybody just as big and bulky to be Marcus Phoenix.
Oh, there's the guy that played Debo and what's it called?
Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
He's dead.
No fucking way.
That guy died. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not shitting you. Yeah, he died. I forget the actor's name. Oh, Tommy Lister Jr. Yeah, he died 2 years ago.
Huh.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't come out and say, "I want John Witherspoon to be Coltrane." Also
John
dead.
Witherspoon. I want him to be Coltrane.
Yeah, also dead.
I don't know who John Witherspoon is.
A Pops and Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he died too?
Yeah, he's dead too.
Damn.
What's also hilarious is there
Chris
was
Tucker still good?
Yeah, he's alive. Almost dead, but still alive. You know what's hilarious? His son can do a perfect impression of him. Like John Witherspoon's son.
Oh, wow.
He can do a crazy accurate impression of him. And there was a whole thing of like a talk about do you ever see the show The Boondocks? I'm assuming not.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So John Witherspoon was grandpa in that show. He was Gramps.
Right.
So there was a whole thing about a revival happening for the Boondocks, and I think when the talks was happening, I think at the time John Witherspoon died, and I think a lot of people were pointing at the fact that like, oh, his son can do a crazy impression, but I think overall the plan didn't follow through for the Boondocks. So the Boondocks revival, I should say. So but yeah, rest in peace, John Witherspoon and Tommy Lister Jr. Anyways, Gears of War. Hyped? John DiMaggio?
Are we talking about the live action here?
I
Because
don't
I'm hyped about the live action.
But
I don't really
who
give a fuck about the other one.
but who will play Marcus Phoenix?
Not Batista.
Jason Momoa?
No, he needs to be a short dude. A short, like, biker looking guy.
I don't know if that's a good call. I was thinking about David Arbor, but no.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is a good Marcus Phoenix. That man could pull off any role.
I don't even know who could play this guy.
Yeah, it's such a weird.
It's a hard thought.
Yeah, it's such a weird one because it's like, I don't know. Like the only
I think
thing
Josh Brolin with makeup, maybe.
you know. Yeah, I mean, he could probably pull it off. He just has to get really big, or they got to put padding in there.
They'd have to get him.
And also,
but he did well for. He looked good for Thanos.
Yeah, he was CGI though.
Right.
He looked good because he was CGI.
So just CGI, my guy.
Yeah, just CGI.
Marcus Phoenix is CGI.
CGI man. Yeah, maybe isn't also Josh Brolin kind of short as well? Isn't he a short king? Yeah,
Pretty sure.
So probably have to give him like elevator boots.
Oh, Tom Cruise, of course.
Just
put him in everything.
Tom Cruise as Marcus Phoenix. Oh man, I would lose my mind. Anyways, we should probably get in contact with Netflix. Be like, yo, you want us as a casting director? We'll do it.
Yeah, could you guys make sure you don't pay us properly, and then we can post about you on the internet later.
Exactly. Don't sign any NDAs. All right. With that said, that's the end of the episode. We done out. That's it for video game news. So Haler, I guess I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye.